Welcome to our CPS meeting. We do have to roll call in. I do just want to note before we do that, appreciate everyone's flexibility. This is a tight week with the holiday earlier this week and then back to school night tonight.
Andrew, just to note, Sandeep is here.
Oh, Sunny. Hey, nice to see you. Awesome. All right. Yeah. So as I was saying, we're gonna there's a Carrie, Sandeep, and Dr. Hunter all have to leave at 5:55. So we're gonna try to get through the meat of this meeting in the next 55 minutes. And if we need to go over 6 for public comment, that's totally fine. So let's roll call in, and I believe I start. So Hercheck present.
Morano present.
Bishardi present.
Rankin present.
Williams present.
Aisha.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aisha present.
And Michelle.
Michelle present.
Awesome. Okay, so we have a quorum. Great. For superintendent and chairs update, given we are short on time, we've asked Lori, we'll give her update at the next regional meeting. And for the chairs update, I wanted to read our statement that Tracy and I put out earlier this week on the event that happened over the weekend. So I'm going to start with that. It says, dear community, on Monday morning, a scarecrow was found in Concord Center with a message containing demeaning language towards Superintendent Hunter. The police department has been notified and is investigating. The act crosses a line away from civility to a much uglier and more dangerous place. As we have stated numerous times around a number of issues of late, there is no room for hate, harassment, or intimidation in our community. Public service depends on having a corp of people willing to lead and to be held accountable through lawful and civil means. It does not require them to endure threats, implied or direct, targeted abuse, or attacks on their character. We are writing as your elected school committee chairs to say 2 things plainly. First, the school committee condemns this act in the strongest possible terms. Second, the districts and we, the school committee chairs, stand with our dedicated superintendent as she reports to work day in and day out as the head of one of the highest performing school districts, not merely in Massachusetts, but across the nation. We welcome criticism and debate over policies, budgets, and individual decisions. There should be a frank and open dialogue on these issues. There should not, however, be any room in Concord for attacks on people. We will take any steps necessary to protect our staff and to assure those responsible are held accountable. We must shame this behavior and not normalize it. We will stand for community standards of decency, and we will not sit still when those standards are forgotten. Concord and Concord Carlisle are stronger when conversations about our schools are focused on facts, on policy, and on the best interests of our children. This has not been an easy year for our community, but if we are able to heal the divide, we must recommit ourselves to that standard now. So thank you for giving me the time to read that. Next up, we have our consent agenda.
Could I comment for a moment?
Comment on the statement?
Yes. May I?
Okay.
I just want to add my voice that events like this are thoroughly unacceptable. Dr. Hunter is our superintendent. She's a hardworking town employee, and no one deserves to face this. We've learned over the past several weeks in our community the importance of speaking out when incidents like this occur. We need to call them out, identify them, reflect on them, and use this as an opportunity to educate. I'm pleased to see that we're doing that. I would like us to pay the same type of attention when incidents occurred to and are directed against people and all our Jewish students, as it was alleged earlier in the year, students of color, that have happened frequently. We should use the same vehemence that you used in your words, Tracy and Andrew, to condemn all of those incidents, to gather us to reflect on them, and to educate our community about how to do better next time. So I'm pleased that we're doing this now. I would ask that we do that for all incidents affecting all of our citizens, so we can educate and lift them up.
Thank you. All right. Consent agenda. Hopefully everyone
sorry.
had,
I had one, I just one quick comment about your statement.
okay,
I agree with your statement 100%. The MECO program does support Dr. Hunter. She's been great to us. And I agree with Michael as well. That same energy should be sent to for any act of hate. Recently, the MECO community was attacked, and I hope that we use the same energy that was in your statement with when the MECO community and non-residents are attacked as well. I feel that's hateful speech, and that's how it should be handled, with the same kind of energy, because it was very hurtful. And I just want, if it's any MECO families that are on this, I support you, and there's a ton of people that support you in Concord.
thanks, Aisha. Okay, consent agenda. Hopefully everyone had some time to go through the agenda. Is there any items that you'd like to pull off and have further discussion on? Michael, go ahead.
Questions on 3 and the CPS A&P 1018, I'm sorry, 1019, 1025. Excuse me. Pardon me, and 1029. Just some questions, particularly 1025, and there were some missing documents as I'm looking through it, and perhaps it might be my read of them. And these are things that we can take off after, we've discussed them. Just where in the line items, they say they refer to bid seen here or document seen here. There's nothing to say what they're about. So I just see that they're in charge, but or payment. I just don't know what they're about. So 1019, 1025, 1029.
1019, 1025, 1029. Okay, I noted those. Anything else on the consent agenda?
That is it for me.
Andrew,
Okay,
can I
thanks.
just
Anyone-
clarify, the last 3 things you actually voted at the last meeting, but Concord wasn't in session per se. So we're just having you revote those for formality.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think I had read that in the agenda overview, so it's literally the same exact vote that we took the last
Yeah.
time. And it's just because when it was voted, CPS members did not say aye for both. They just said aye. Our Carlisle member said aye for region, so this is just a formality. And everyone voted aye at our last meeting. So we just have to say aye at the CPS meeting. Sorry if that was confusing.
no problem. So does someone want to make a motion then to approve the consent agenda, removing 19, 25, and 29?
So moved.
Second.
Great. Let's vote it. Hurcheck, aye.
You're muted, Tracy. Oh, sorry. Morano, aye.
Bishardi, aye.
Rankin, aye.
Williams, aye.
Great.
So
Okay.
we just removed it, and now we have to vote on the consent agenda?
Oh, that was for removing, right, correct. So now we need to move to approve the consent agenda. Sans those articles.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, now we vote. Hurcheck, aye.
Morano, aye.
Bishardi, aye.
Rankin, aye.
Williams, aye.
All right, thank you. So Michael will work offline with Bob and Dr. Hunter to get you the supporting information on those warrants.
Excellent.
And perfect.
Just a quick question also, a related topic, just in terms of, we had the budget seminar prior to our last meeting. Greatly
Mhm.
appreciated, Bob. And there's going to be a budget seminar for everyone. When is that going to be?
Right now, it's slated for the next meeting, October 8th.
October 8th.
Excellent. So, okay, excellent. Thank you.
Great. Tracy, Brian and Lynette are aware of that, correct?
No, because I haven't put the agenda out yet.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
joint
okay.
meeting though. We're
joint
gonna
No,
do it on
I-
the 8th when we're joint.
Yeah, okay, but I should let them know that it's gonna happen then.
Can I just get clarity on the warrants that we pulled off? We had the documents at the last meeting, correct? Were they just not attached? I guess I just want a little bit of clarity so we know where we're at.
So I have in chapter and verse I can pull up. I've reviewed them, but in the documents, they're in the documents as you go through them page by page. There were 7. You know, just so I don't take your time, I'm glad to talk with you, Andrew and Bob, just to clarify. There are questions that I had when going through them, looking at things. When I look for a line item to see that describe what we're paying for, it says look to this bid or this document, and the documents are missing. So
Okay.
to save time, I can go over that offline with
Yeah.
Andrew and Bob.
I'll follow up with you, Michael, on that.
Great.
Thank you. Okay. Tracy, you had tabulated the correspondence.
Sure. So because I'm going to do the same report at the regional meeting, and if we get any additional, I'll just add that to it. So Andrew and I do track all the correspondence on a spreadsheet. We had about 16 emails in support of Dr. Hunter this week. We had one last week on a question on our communications firm. We had another email regarding some concerns that 2 people had. And then the last one just came in today was about the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail.
Great. Thank you. All right. On to discussion.
Andrew Sandeep's hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, all good. So, Tracy, can you shed some light on how many communications we get on average, and you know, when do these communications come in?
Sure. So this week they were, we had the majority of our communication this week. On any given week, like I'm looking back into August, like for August, we had maybe about 20. And from June until August, we had about 25 roughly, a few from the same people. So this is definitely an uptick of correspondence coming in because this was just this week.
And this is mostly post your response, or I guess a statement that was issued.
Yep, I think that's probably why it came through. Yep.
Thank you.
Question. Right. On to
Andrew.
Aisha has her hand up.
Aisha.
Oh my gosh, I'm Zoom illiterate. I'm so
No
sorry.
worries, Andrew. I just had a question. So, just about the correspondence. When we get a letter that contains hateful speech that is directed at a group of students, how do we respond? Like, do we respond with the same? Do we meet with those people? Are we entertaining this, or like, what are we doing?
So that one piece of correspondence, I actually spoke with the 2 authors of that, and I believe that there's a meeting scheduled with the administration coming up. And then we can also talk
Yeah,
about
I think
that.
we have to talk more about whether we need a couple of school committee reps to also meet with them.
I mean, I think it bothers me that this isn't alarming to anyone else.
It is.
I'm hurt that we're entertaining these people. I think it's disgusting what was said, and the fact that this is not the first time that this is, comments like this have been made by these individuals. I'm hurt, and I really question if our kids are safe, if our MECO kids and kids that don't live here are safe in the school. So I think we have a bigger problem. It needs to be addressed, and we cannot entertain ignorance. whether you live here or not.
Again, I think I have to second Aisha's comments in that the students that come through our doors and get on our buses are our students, no matter where they come
absolutely.
from.
100%.
And
Mhm.
we need to make that clear to, perhaps we need to reinforce that, make that clear to our community. I
Yeah,
know
I
that
think, I'm sorry.
I know that there's a wellspring of support, and we actually tried to demonstrate that by when we're invited to attend the meetings that we try to show up, not to be as if we're voyeurs, not to eavesdrop, and certainly not to breach security, but to show our families in Boston that we are aware of them, we see them, we understand them, and we support them. So I would agree with you, Dr. Hunter, that we need to perhaps definitely have our medical representation at this meeting, and citizens perhaps, or certainly this school committee member is interested in being in that conversation.
If I can just clarify, because this did come into, I think the school committee is fully aware of this correspondence, but given the nature of the correspondence, there was a complaint against a staff member, and there was a complaint about a student, and it was not and I just wanted for clarity, it was not a Metco student. It was a complaint about another student. The use of non-resident was used, and so I did.
And that's the problem there, though. That is the problem there.
So I
Yeah.
understand that it wasn't a medical student, but when you refer to a group of students, and this is the problem that I'm having, this is the problem this is why we're in the situation we're in. When we sit there and we say it's okay because, oh, it's not a medical student. No, I stand with any
No.
non-residents. Any non-residents of Concord that are treated like they're less than is absolutely disgusting to me. It should not be, and we should not entertain it.
One other
And then,
point I would
and
make.
for the same
I
person to
think-
talk about the privilege, and it's absolutely disgusting. It's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for the medical kids and any non-resident to come to school in Concord. But it's just as a privilege as the Concord community that the medical kids and any non-resident brings to Concord. So
I have to ask
so-
also, why would you
Right.
assume that it's a Medco student? Tracy?
So I stand with the MECO students stand with every other group, whether LGBT, Jewish community, every other community that has been treated like this. I don't think any community, any groups of kids in the school should be labeled like this and spoken to like they're less than. I think it's absolutely disgusting, and we cannot, and we shouldn't be in support of it or entertain it at all.
Yeah, Aisha, just for a little clarity, and this is things we're still working through, obviously, but Tracy spent 45 minutes with those folks on the phone and made all of those exact points. I need to spend time with them on the staff and student piece that they brought up. And then I think Tracy and Andrew need to select a representative or two of the school committee that is also going to meet with them on the points that you're making. I think the challenge we're having is the email was so loaded with offensive things that we're triaging them. And we all agree with you 100%. So we're making our way through it, and you need to be part of that conversation. That's very loud and clear.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aisha, for voicing
Yeah,
that.
you're spot on about everything, Aisha.
Yeah.
100%.
Thank you.
And these emails coming in, they're public record too. So if people are curious, it's public
Well,
record.
and that one's going to have a lot of redactions because of the privacy things that are in it. But
Yeah.
anyway, everything's
Well,
public record.
It also went to the select board, and so, and we're fully aware when there are things about students or things about staff members in there, our attorneys do look at the FOIA request to ensure student privacy.
But things can be redacted if someone asks. for
Definitely
the-
redacted.
I
yeah.
mean, this is the second incident. So one more incident, one or two of these people are on the borderline of harassment of this group of people. So I just want, just for legal ramifications, this needs to stop. And hopefully it stops now.
Agreed.
Thanks, Aisha.
Good discussion. Okay, no more hands up, correct? Good.
Now that I-
Okay, good, thank you. All right, on to the discussion now, Washington DC trip. Lori, would you like me to,
Justin's actually on if he can
okay,
have a couple of minutes.
did we tell him 5:15? We're pretty close-ish.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Greetings.
Justin.
Nice to see all of you. So I'm here in an annual appeal in an official capacity to move forward our annual 8th grade Washington, D.C. trip. I believe an informational packet was sent to Dr. Hunter. Hope that all of you have received it. We're looking at going as a school community, an 8th grade school community, the first week in June, which has been past practice. We are going through a different travel company this year. We're going through a company called World Strides. I traveled with World Strides, I think for the first 10 years of my career. So circling back to them, they are a wonderful company, and really their attention is on detail, which is what we're looking for. Most importantly, World Strides in signing a contract with Concord Public Schools for this coming school year has also put forward $7,000 in scholarships for our families, for some of the families who might need some assistance in affording this trip as well. So I'm available for any questions that you might have about this trip.
Justin?
Yep.
Michael, yeah, that's you said, World Strides has provided the scholarship for assistance. Is there anything else that the our district is doing toward that, and you feel that that's sufficient?
That's not sufficient, but it's certainly much more than any travel company has ever provided in close to the 20 years that I've been traveling through different companies. The way in which that we fill in the rest is we have a community-wide event. Last year we brought in the Harlem Wizards, and we had a lot of elementary families and middle school families come together, and I believe we raised around $14,000. So we would look to do another event like that, and then all 8th graders are asked to raise money so that they are raising money towards their own trip as well. So between those 3 actions, we finally have some footing in the last couple years. 2 years ago, I want to shout out the middle school PTG that really came forward and supported a group a couple years ago that was in need, in 8th grade, that is.
So two follow-ups then. You with this foundation, you're confident that you will be able to meet what you see as your potential need for this trip?
Absolutely. You know, what I say at the parent night is no student will be turned away. And there's a deep appreciation of those words that is said. It's probably the #1 email that I receive following a parent informational night, that if it is approved, if this trip is approved tonight, tomorrow morning we'll have a Zoom informational night for our 8th grade families in just a couple weeks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Hey, Sandeep.
I was just going to ask, is the $1,549 per person price point before any of that, before the $7,000 and before the presumed 14,000, or is that, at what point do you bring that number down?
Yep. So the 7,000 and whatever we raise as a community actually just goes to families who
Okay,
share that they are in need of assistance, financial
Great.
assistance for the trip. Each student, regardless if their family can afford the trip or not, are asked to raise money for their trip.
great. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, the individual student gets it down just a couple hundred. So we targeting around 1,200 after each student does their civics engagement for their own trip.
Justin, you mentioned this is a new company you're using. Is the itinerary similar to what you've used in the past, or
The itinerary is similar. Yep.
Great. Justin, thanks for putting this together. I think I say this every year, but I still have all the photos from my middle school trip to DC. It's so important, and it's such a valuable trip, I think. And I'm so glad to see the tradition continue and all the efforts on managing the price, which is exponentially more than we paid 20 years ago. So thank you for all the work.
You're very welcome.
All right, we need a vote, correct? Well, we need a motion to vote.
I move that we support the Washington DC trip as discussed and stipended. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, let's vote. Hurcheck, aye.
Morano, I.
Bishardi, aye.
Rankin, I.
Williams, aye.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin, and good luck tonight on back to school night.
Thank
Busy
you.
guy.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank
right,
you, Justin.
Take care. All right, moving along. We have the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail group here to, I would say get a discussion started. And just a little bit of background, we have gotten correspondence on the connection from the trail to the Ellen Garrison building over the summer, about a handful. And so I know there's a community desire for this. And I imagine this is the first of probably many discussions that we will have. So looking forward to kicking it off tonight. And if that group is here,
Yeah. I can introduce,
okay.
Shelley's here. So Shelley Carlin
Perfect.
is here to open up the conversation. I think you've named it. There are multiple groups interested in this, and there are other groups having questions already. So there's going to be a lot of conversations, but we'll open it up to Shelley. I think this will be a good foundation to work off of and go from there. So welcome, Shelley. You should be able to screen share.
Okay.
If you want to put your slides up. If not, I can.
If it's okay. All right, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so into the slideshow here. So I'm here to, my name is Shelley Carlin. I'm here to talk about creating an improved connection between the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail and Concord Middle School. I'm the co-lead of the CMS PTG Sustainability Committee. And I wanted to put this out there, this slide, because with all of the chaos going on, there are really a lot of positive things happening. And I want to just say thank you to all the volunteers who are making that possible. So yeah, they're doing a lot of good work. So to give you an idea of what we're talking about, so we have common vocabulary. This is the CMS campus. On the right side to the east, you'll see the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. And in yellow, you have the line to the main campus and fields, or the upper campus. Red is the old Sanborn path that went to the now demoed building. Lower fields in purple, what we're calling the goat path in orange, which is a natural, like a kid-made path that's already there connecting the rail trail and the lower fields. And then the teal is the new path that's been made in the last year so that kids can get to the lower fields for recess, since the other fields are currently under construction. So who uses these paths? Hundreds of people are using these paths. So we've got bikers, CMS staff, the cross-country teams, home and away teams and their families, student clubs, community volunteers, and kids at recess. So lots of folks. Currently, these are photos of the goat path. You can see there are roots, there's brambles reaching out, erosion, and I took these pictures in August. So even with no students currently on the campus, the path is used enough that it just is permanently there. But it's uninviting, it's difficult to locate. When you're on the Bruce Freeman Trail, people will just, ride right by it. The old Sanborn path is, I'm sure a lot of you have been on this path. It's, steep, got unstable surface. It's got a history of pedestrian injury, and historically it's been the primary path between the main campus, the upper campus, and the lower fields for pedestrians and workers. And so here's the new wooded path that's behind CMS. You can see that it's got some erosion issues with that sort of stabilizing berm there coming down. And it's not really a long-term solution for
No,
field
it
access.
wasn't just Shelley, it wasn't meant to be, right? So it's very temporary while we're in construction, but you go ahead. I just want to make sure everybody knew.
Okay, so so basically it's also the current state of things, I guess.
Exactly.
A question?
Yeah.
Just looking on this slide, you're looking up at the back of the Ellen Garrison building where the green berm is. It looks that there's a fairly steep drop, but the picture just to the right of it, as where's that steep drop with relation to the picture just to the right?
So the picture without a line coming from it is at the bottom of the path.
Got it.
That's some old rail equipment you see in that photo.
Got it.
Okay. So why are we improving the paths? So really for safety, to get kids away from cars. And on this point, I want to say that I was in a meeting this week with 5 parents, and 3 of the 5 parents had their kid be in a situation where they were almost hit by a car. And when the outlier in the group is the kid who wasn't almost hit, we have a problem, just in general. So I just wanted to say that. So on top of stabilizing the services we have access to here, getting kids away from cars is a priority for the community. So improved paths would create more access and more use, better health and accessibility opportunities for folks, lower emissions. So, there are limits to bus pickup. So if you're a student living 1 mile from school, that's a 5 or 6 minute bike ride. But every car trip is 3.5 pounds of CO2 per day. So if we can get those kids biking, that could save a lot of CO2. And there are other emissions that are, have health concerns from vehicles. So the site challenges we have are the 30-foot drop from the back of the main campus to the lower fields. We've got about a 5 or 6 foot drop on the goat path. So tree removal would have to be done, but that's not a significant barrier. And some of the trees probably need to come out anyway. There are quite a few dead trees that could be taken out. Wetlands are a possible issue, but not on the east side where the rail trail abuts the lower fields. So that's not really a problem as long as we stay, in that very large section of rail trail. So there's similar projects like this in the community. So here's White Pond from 2018. So there's a 40-foot elevation drop in this scenario. It's accessible, it integrates the natural setting, and the trees are respected, and it goes down directly into wetland. So another hyperlocal project is the BFRT access point at Powder Mill Road. This was a small piece of a much larger project, but shows you another way this project could be addressed. So if you approve this project, there are a couple different approach scenarios. It could be done in phases or all at once holistically. So if we do it in phases, I've broken it into like a 1A and a 1B option. So 1A would be volunteer led, doing the first section, just the goat path. 1B would be professionally led, the goat path section. And the second phase would be the lower fields to the main campus section. So that's the in phases option. And the holistic is pretty straightforward, doing it all at once. So the timeline for these steps are, as you see here, I won't go through this in a detailed way for the sake of time, but I will say that the holistic approach will create a complete sort of start to finish design. If we do phase 1 with a volunteer design, it will be probably faster and cheaper. If we do phase 1 with a professional design, the timeline will probably be more like the holistic timeline. But the phase 2 is a little more iffy because this really is contingent upon volunteer pushes, and honestly, I just don't know who's going to be around in 4 years to sort of see that through. So the community groups in support of this project are Mothers Out Front, Friends of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, the Concord Transportation Advisory Committee, and TAC, and the Climate Action Committee. And we have possible grant funding from Friends of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail and the Community Preservation Committee. Both of those groups have funded projects like this before, so it's not a big reach. So I guess we're respectfully requesting that you support this project by allocating it to the appropriate subcommittee that already exists, like campus completion, or creating a new subcommittee to pursue the project. Thank you.
Question?
Please, go ahead.
If you go back to the slide of your scenarios, I believe slide 14.
Oh, sure.
And have you given prospective price outs for, clearly, I guess the holistic plan might be the most expensive, but if parts of 1A or 1B need to be redone, we don't know. So have you sort of theoretically priced out and do you have a cost figure?
Well, it depends on what you all want to do. We can't do anything without, the school committee sort of giving it the okay to even start the design process. But the closest sort of equivalent we have to this is White Pond. So the numbers there are from 2018, but this is a more extensive project. So you've got, increased cost over time, but you've got, we're not building restrooms.
True. But the land work and the walkway, so we're looking at 370,000, 375,000 there.
Yes, but and this was sponsored by the community preservation folks.
Mm-hmm. I guess that what I was sort of looking for was, admittedly at this point, spitballing, just to give us a frame of reference. And perhaps if we take that from this slide, that'll be helpful. Thank you.
This is new to me, so in terms of process, like, I don't think it's as simple as us just approving this as is now. And I think we have to have a lot of discussions. We had some emails from the Transportation Advisory Committee, with notes of caution and some other, design aspects to take into place. So I imagine, and please help me out, anyone else, that there's more work to be done.
Yeah, I think tonight was to just queue it up officially queue it up.
Mm-hmm.
it seems like, and Shelley's done such a nice job of that, so thank you, Shelley. You really-
Yes, yeah,
really
I
Yes.
should have led with that. I'm sorry. This
Yeah,
is
we
Thank
all,
you.
we all have a
presentation.
basic understanding now. It
Yeah.
does seem like you're gonna want some period of feedback here because there has been so much interest. I don't even know if we were effective at letting everyone know it made the agenda tonight. So I do think there's gonna want to be a little bit of time where you gather input and then discuss what you want to do. I think for me, it's a question of, does the school committee want to own the project, whatever the project finally is? Or does the school committee want to bless other groups to do kind of, at the region, we did this with the track. Bless another group to go figure out funding, start some design, bring it back for approval. You'll keep track along the way, assuming we can make that start to happen. So I think there's different processes you could choose from, both of which you have final say. It's just a matter of whether you're the architects and owners of the project or if you're consultants and approvers of the project.
Tracy, I'm getting better at this. See, I
Oh,
see your
you
hand.
got it. Okay, so I just had a couple of questions. So I do think it would be helpful to have any support letters, like from the Transportation Committee or from some of the other committees. Because while I think that we got some feedback today of someone on the Transportation Committee. So just to understand if they've actually officially spoken about it and if they have some type of letter of support, I think that would be helpful. And then just in terms of design, do you have any sense as to the cost of design and how would that funding be done?
So the endorsements were given at the various meetings. Just to there weren't official letters written. Just they were. This was presented to those groups, and then there was an oral endorsement voted on at 2 past meetings. But if you need, I can reach out if you need
Or
something in writing.
even if you could just like let us know which meetings, then we can just watch that section of the discussion. Just which meetings it happened at and for the Transportation Advisory Committee and the other committees that you listed, that would be helpful.
Okay. Sure, I can, it was the most, well, I can send you those dates offline. And then the other question was, I'm sorry, it was about funding the design. So the Friends of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail have expressed an interest in supporting design funding. But again, because this is school property, the decision ultimately comes down to you, whether you want to let someone else make the choices on like, surfacing and location, things like that. So there's there's some variability.
Got it. Carrie?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, Shelley, thank you. This is very thoughtful and a great presentation. I have a middle schooler who bikes to school most days, not today because of the rain. So I am fully aware of the challenges. I guess I would want to have this conversation also as like a broader conversation about our capital planning needs because we just spent a lot of money and time looking at all of our buildings and what our needs are. And I think just taking projects like this in isolation is probably not the best approach. So I'd like to think about what are all of the needs and how do we want to tackle them and what priority.
But if the question is if we want to take this on, as a CPS school committee, or if we want like Friends of the Bruce Freeman Trail to kind of own it and provide updates and different, touch points in terms of approvals, my vote would be that. I think it would move a lot faster given the other stuff that we are working on as a committee.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I guess my only thought is we're all talking about the same pockets of money. Like we're talking about CPC funding for our projects, for this project, for all of these things we're looking at the same buckets of money. And so I'm fully supportive of like figuring out a solution here, but I'd rather not do it in isolation. That's my only.
Mm-hmm. So Shelley, is there a particular group, you listed a few groups towards the end of the presentation. Is there a particular group that would want to take ownership of this and keep moving it forward?
Well, is it, I'm coming here from the CMS PTG, sort of wearing that hat.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it possible to have a school committee subcommittee with community members from these other groups
I
to
think so.
sort of help do the lifting?
I think so. Right? This is uncharted territory for me, so looking
Well,
for other input.
so I guess if we were going to compare this to things that have been done in the past from the school committee, CC at Play is something that comes to mind that was a partnership, but it's very complex. So CC at Play was an independent 501c3 that they did their fundraising, they applied to the CPC, they got the design work done. So they kind of they worked with the school committee at the time, and I was not on the school committee, but they were kind of on the side. So our campus completion committee that has been working through the high school and the amenities building, that is just school committee. And we then applied for CPC funding. So I think like the questions out there is, who's applying for the CPC funding? Is it CMSBC or not CMSBC, sorry, PTG? Because they're going to own it? Is it a separate entity, or is it something you're asking for the school committee to do?
Well, I'm asking for the school committee to put this in the appropriate subcommittee because there's so many of these decisions that are going to involve your consent that otherwise we're going to be constantly coming back to these main meetings to work out details, like what color of, paving sand to use. You know what I mean? It's not really practical.
Bob, you had your hand up for a while. I'm sorry.
Just some process considerations. The CPC application process for this year has passed. In order to get a sense of the construction costs, question Michael raised, that data is old. I wouldn't rely on it. Typically, you would get that during the design process. So the design process, I think, also is something the CPC will be looking at to get an idea of the project cost. We'll be doing our capital planning for next year, probably before we have any of this information. So those are just some things to be aware of. And I mean, having the design funded would be really helpful. I think that would seem to be, if it's something the committee is supportive of, the design will help identify and flesh out a lot more of this.
Mm-hmm. Sandeep?
Yeah, I think Tracy made a few of the points that I was going to make. It's my question is essentially what are we going to vote on here? Whether we're interested in this, whether we want a subcommittee. We're not deciding on anything at this point, right? It's we're interested. We want to move forward.
Correct. Michael?
So the other point I would make, and again, thank you, Shelley. It's a strong presentation. And you bring up the point actually that we need to consider, do we want someone else doing this and then finding out that it might not fit with our idea of the campus, or do we want to be involved with it as it's developed so we can have some impact on framing how it melds with our campus? Both things we can consider. Just, I mean, it's hard in my mind to think of anything that would argue against this. I think we need to decide not whether we're in favor, but how the mechanics of it would work. And so yes, the question is how we see this, and do we want to be in a position where we're presented with a package that we have to see how it fits, as opposed to being in the process of melding it with our campus.
Mm. So in terms of next steps, I'm not hearing anyone that's opposed to this, and so I'm wondering if we want to do like a straw poll or something to just leave this meeting with some indication of a next step, or if we want to take another action. I'm not really sure.
I'm not I'm trying to like, I feel like we need more. I'm not really sure I'm ready to vote or say much. I feel like we haven't, to the earlier points, we really haven't looked at any other perspectives, or we got an email today from transportation. This hasn't been out there. I remember from past conversations, there's some concerns about ADA. So I just think there's a lot of questions that we don't have answers to. So I'm not really like, of course, I think it sounds like in this presentation, I would support it completely, but I don't think that we have enough information to really say that.
And I just want to just chime in that the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail and basically if it's not ADA compliant, it won't get funding.
So they're going
Well,
to
And
drop
if it is
out.
ADA compliant, it requires a lot of clear cutting. So I mean, there's just a lot of different questions that we have not discussed or talked about.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not opposed to or in support of anything. I just think that there's a lot of unknowns that we've not discussed to really move anything forward at this point, is my
and
opinion.
we've found that ADA compliance is like we have
The bare
higher
minimum.
standards. We have higher
Exactly.
standards in our community than ADA compliance would suggest. So
Correct.
complicated.
And in terms of just, I don't want to respond to the clear cutting concern. We did talk to the natural resources director, and she was saying that the woods in that area are not a concern. And Delia K. And the other thing is based on the design, like the White Pond example, it was very respectful and nothing was clear cut. If you go out there, the woods are abundant. So something like that is possible.
Thank you.
I think we need to keep moving on. So I think there's some more work to be done, per your point, Carrie, between now and a future meeting in terms of, ownership and some other unanswered questions. And so I propose that, this is a good first step. And as we decided in the intro, I think this is the first of many conversations. And so I think we'll have to add this to a future agenda and do some work behind the scenes in order to have a little bit more clarity. Is that, I'm just trying to read the room? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I personally just need a little bit more time with it to kind of go back and look at some of the transportation advisory committee meetings and just dig in a little bit more. Because even like I didn't understand where it was happening until I saw the presentation. So I think that I think we just need a little bit more time, and I don't want to feel rushed tonight because we are under a time situation.
Yep.
And I just want to add to Shelley, like, I hope you don't see this as a frustrating hurdle, because these things are always more complicated. I've learned these are always like a simple problem with a seemingly simple solution is never simple, and it always creates a lot of there's going to be a lot of people who have opinions. And so it's just really important that we take the time to consider all of the pieces. So this is not a no, this is just we need to know more.
Okay.
We need to move on. Michael, go ahead. We gotta go quickly though.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Is there any benefit in passing this to the campus completion committee for consideration so that the entire committee doesn't have to be burdened? Understanding that the campus completion committee does have some work on its plate now, but might it be something that subcommittee can do to at least start taking the input on that? Just something up for us to consider.
Yep. So it is the CCHS Campus Completion Committee, and we have a Carlisle member on that. So we would have to form a different committee because the charge is
Okay.
CCHS.
Okay.
Okay. Let's keep moving. I knew this hour would come up a lot faster than we all would want, and I know Dr. Hunter has to present in like 5 minutes. So, I propose we push the CTE policy to our next CPS meeting. And then Bob, the fiscal year end CPS vote, is that time sensitive or can that be pushed as well?
No, that can wait. I'll just, you have it. I can certainly present it next time.
Andrew, the
Okay.
CTE policy is time sensitive, so I might need to figure that out. We can tag it onto one end of the October 8th meeting.
Okay.
Well,
Does that work?
we
Does that
do
work?
it- Well, could we
I
do a
think so.
first read of CTE and then a second read on the October 8th? Because we've all had the policy in our packets. And just maybe straw poll if anybody has any questions, because it's just a first read.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'll just keep it
Yeah,
moving.
you could
So,
even do the second read later in October. I just have a November 1st deadline with the state. So we can figure it out if you don't want to rush tonight.
Do-
go ahead.
I just have are we going to talk about it or not? I just have a quick question about it.
Well, if we have questions, then maybe we just schedule an additional
It's a quick, okay, okay.
time in October and do like a quick CPS meeting before the regional meeting or after.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. It's a very legal document, so you're not going to
That was my
get a
question.
lot of
That
input,
was,
but
that
I
was
still
my,
think we
I was
should.
like, isn't this the law based on the
Yeah.
enrollment, the new admissions?
Supposed to do anything else.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay. So no, I'm actually comfortable with it being a first read, if that's the answer.
Okay.
Andrew,
Okay.
so if you want to schedule a CT, if you want to schedule a CPS meeting on either side of the regional meeting, we could do that.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll do that. We'll do the year-end CPS. Lori, you probably need you probably need 2 representatives tonight for the bargaining. Is that starting soon?
The CTA has notified us that they're working on who would be available for them.
Okay.
I don't know quite how soon, but we do need to have 2 people start to talk about interest and availability. The CTA has said they did some calendar work on their end and they know Monday afternoons would work for them. Sometimes that's not a terrible place to start. So we don't all get to the table, and not find dates. So
I'm interested.
Is there anyone else interested in bargaining? If you haven't bargained,
I'll
this
do it.
is
If no one
okay.
wants to.
I was gonna say.
Oh.
Okay, Gary.
Oh, have you not done it? You should do it. You should do it.
This is, I think, just our general strategy is to have experienced bargainer and a new bargainer. Just and
Well,
this
and
is
just for clarification, this is a new contract that you'll
And
be doing, so it will be longer and extensive. You also have other contracts that are up for renewal later in the year. So there's plenty of opportunities.
Have fun.
Are you gonna rock paper scissors now? So I can't see Sandeep, but I'm assuming.
All right.
He's got a thumb up. He's got a thumb up.
All right, awesome.
Okay. Okay. Good. So
Great.
Tracy and Sandeep are your bargainers, Lori.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And then lastly, we have the bias and hate incident reporting working group. A couple of members had emailed me with interest on this. I think the one issue I have is this: we don't have Carlisle with us tonight, and if we're going to send a representative, I would really like for them, to at least be involved in a discussion before we, elect someone to represent us in that. And I know the select board's moving pretty quickly, but if we can put this on our CCRSD meeting and have all 7 of us find a delegate, that would make me more comfortable.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm really sorry for rushing these last, 7 minutes. So I think.
5:58, Andrew, and back to school night starts at 6. Sorry.
Oh, you're
And I have to go. Sorry.
playing, but can I keep it open for? I can keep it open for public comment, but I don't know if we'll have a quorum to stay.
Yeah.
So I have to go because my daughter's PT ends at 6:15 and it's 6 o'clock and I have to get there before it.
Okay. And Dr. Hunter, you're leaving. Carrie and Sandeep, you are leaving as well, correct?
Yeah, plus 6.
So it's just
Okay.
us.
30.
It's at 6.
It's at 6? Oops.
Well, the main part is at 6 and then you go to classes. So if you
Classes at
miss
6:30.
the first presentation, but you don't have to do that.
Oh.
Well, they're both 6th grade parents, so I'm going to highly encourage them to
I
do
know.
that, but
Thank
it
you.
is your choice. I'm going to go. Thank you all. We'll follow up on everything as we get to the next agenda. Thanks.
Will we, so we won't have a quorum at that point, is that correct?
Sounds like no.
Sorry, I didn't realize that that was a possibility of extending it for the public comment and I literally have to leave. Sorry.
No problem. All right, we do need to roll call out.
I move to adjourn.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Check aye.
Morano, I.
Bishardi, aye.
Rankin, I.
Williams, aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.